Of Foreign Insight with your host, Dan Maddox. And today we have a guest here. Me and this lady always go back and forth on Facebook about topics, so it's only right to have her up here.
Yep. Hey, y'all. It's Dolly. Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
See, listen, right? For everybody out there who don't, y'all need to see the other co-host. Want the microphone? Want the headphones?
Yeah.
The other co-host. We're going to have some changes here shortly, soon. But just bear with us, right? Let's go straight into it, man. My debate partner, all right?
Yes.
Question I want to ask you today, and the topic is, do you think, fuck that, is Feminist a hate organization?
In today's time, I would say, well, Feminist is not an organization, period, because we know what an organization is, so they're not an organization. But is it a trend to be a hateful woman? Yes, I would say that. Yeah, it is a trend to be a hateful woman, but I wouldn't say it's an organization.
So you don't think Feminist is a hate organization?
No, because an organization is a 501c3. That's an organization. That's what an organization stands for.
You're talking about the business.
Yeah, a business.
No, I'm talking about a hate group. All right.
Oh, okay. A hate group, yes.
I'm going to say that. Is Feminist a hate group?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, cool.
There we go. That's the correct question.
Yeah, all right, cool. Yo, she gave me a Don DeMarco movement. Don DeMarco. So so you think it's a hate group?
Yeah. Most definitely a hate group. Most definitely.
So you want to elaborate on that? Why you think so?
Okay, so being a feminist, let's make sure.
You a feminist?
Definitely not.
Oh, thank God.
No, I'm not.
I'm about to say, where are you going to take it?
Unfortunately, I do not feel that men and women are equal. And women are probably going to scratch my throat out when I say it, because we want to be so equal to men in every aspect. Like, when it comes to money, when it comes to livelihood, when it comes to anything, we want to be the same as men, but we are not, We weren't made the same as men. So
I agree with that, because a lot of feminists today's time, I ask them, are you a feminist? They say, yeah, I'm a feminist. So I ask a simple question, what is a feminist? And they all say the same things. Oh, we could do what men could do. I said, that's not, I'm confused. That's very like vague. Like, what is a feminist? They can't explain it to me. To this day, a lot of them can't explain it to me when I meet them in person. So I'm real technically honest. Feminism wasn't even created for black women, to be perfectly honest.
No. It was a liberation. Actually, it was a liberation for white women, because of, white women felt like they needed to be treated the same as white men. They left the black women out completely. So when I hear black women say, oh, I'm a feminist, I look at her and I am appalled. Like, how could you? How could you? Because when they were allowed to work, and we were always working. Like, we were always working. We were always taking care of the home. We were always doing all the things that we still are doing right now at this moment in time. So, when it comes to being a feminist, of that time, of that period, it was not meant for, for us.
And the thing is, a lot of feminists always start from World War II days. In 1940s, I said, first of all, they didn't start then. How about I know more about feminists than you do, and you're an absolute feminist? Started in the 1840s, to be perfectly honest. I could be wrong on that, but I know I'm not wrong. But it's in the 1840s, right?
You got Google.
Right? You Google it. When it started, hold on. Look it up. Tell me the year when it started, so I could get my point across. Right. So if it started in the 1840s, we know black women were still slaves at that moment. So if it was truly for feminists, for all women, they would have truly tried to free black women. They would have been free at that moment by the definition of feminists, right? They wanted equality of the sexes, basically, as men.
Yeah.
The women don't understand their role in World War II was very, very important, very pivotal, very important. The men went to, for example, right? When they say the men went to war, and when the guys came back, took the jobs back. That wasn't fair. That's what they always say. So I said, think about it. A lot of them guys didn't come back home. A lot of them died in that war.
Yes.
So would you trade places with them? You go to war while they stay back in the factories and build weapons for and pack up gunpowder into the missiles and ammo. Would you go to war while they do that? They said no. So if you go on vacation for an absent leave, go on vacation or a medical leave out, right? Whatever the case may be. When you return, is that job still your job?
Yes.
Thank you. It's the same that happened in the war.
Right.
When they was in the factories working and the men got drafted against their own will, which is really oppression. They want to be totally honest. Oh, we against, no, it was oppressed for soldiers at that time. I won't go too deep in history, but they went against the war against their own will, right? To protect their families and their kids and their wives and their nation, which is very honorable. So when they come back, at least they'll get their job back. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Give them their job back at least. Feminists now,
if they weren't, they weren't experiencing trauma at the time, having the PTSD.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah. So mind you, right?
Because people went to war and did not come back the same.
So that's another fact, yeah. So now when we go down to this feminist rabbit hole, they always bring up, oh, we didn't have, as a black woman, stop, you just being followers of a white woman. Like, black people in general is followers of white people. We need to stop doing that shit and bring,
you're right.
It's crazy. I'm like, yo, nobody oppress you, black woman. Black men ain't even own shit at that moment. Or we were allowed to do some things. We on the same page. Black men and black women on the same exact page of not being treated equally. We tend to forget this. A lot of these white women were being treated better than black men at their work jobs, at these factories and shit. Yeah. White woman might be a secretary getting paid more than this black guy who's busting his ass because he's black. But then when they bring up, hey, it's not fair. It's not fair to that black man that he working with dangerous machinery and getting paid less than a white woman. Right. You get what I'm saying? That part's never brought up. Right. So nowadays, when we got this third, fourth, fifth wave of feminism, that shit became a hate group. Yes. That shit literally transformed for what it was into a hate group now. I'll give you an example.
And do you know why?
Why? Go ahead. Go ahead. I know why, but go ahead.
Because exactly what you said, I was pulling it up. So you're definitely on the right. You're definitely on the right track. So the year that you were saying, it was the 1960s.
1840s. The first wave.
The first wave.
It's the 19th century. So I mean, they'd be the 1800s.
Yes, 1800s. Yep, 1850 was the first wave. Boom. He was right. Look, y'all. I was wrong for the first time. Listen, I hope y'all know I always run a debate with him.
Yeah, she be lying. She be lying. No, but a lot of that shit was happening oh yeah, explain to me why.
Okay, so now the third, fourth wave. Now those were because of I remember in school had everything to do with the liberation of when the writers used to write about how women felt sexually, sexual oppression at the time. You had your writers Audre Lorde. You had, there was many writers that came up at the time that spoke about sexual liberation. So women after that took it to a next level. Then after that, took it to the next level. After that, took it to the next level. It went from burning your bras and burning your bras. I believe, I'm going to look it up, but burning your bras around that time was around about same pay, being paid the same amount as men and so on and so forth. That's why. It was also about... because to dress as men, because they had so many different rules about, because at that time women were property, but it was white women were property. Black, we were always property.
That's the whole point.
We're still in the amendments as property, They did not change that.
Black women keep saying, we was property. I said, Last time I checked, we both was property.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, we both
You just
were
forget. And mind you, when we go down that feminist rabbit hole, right? They'll switch up words. For example, I think like the Cosmopolitan magazine made it kind of big. I don't know the exact one, but it made it kind of big with the whole. What they did was they was very slick with it. They combined liberation-free movement with feminist movement and changed the definition of it. Because feminists, for example, by definitions, is women advocating for equal rights for the sexes. Right. I'm all for that, right? If you do the same job, you should be able to get the same pay. I'm agreeing with that.
Agree.
This third, second, fourth, whatever wave is totally out of order. Because now it's not about that anymore. It's literally about I can do what a man could do.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Now I could fuck how many people I want to fuck.
As much
I'm
as
like, what did I have to do? How did I write?
Yeah.
It makes no sense because what they did was that whole liberation, sexual free, that hippie movement.
But we have that same sexual liberation right now. It's like it's spread into our music.
Yes.
You know, so like, you know, you hear the everyday woman rapper talking about, you know, smutting out a guy. So of course there's going to be another fifth way, sixth way, seventh way, but it's more on sexual morality now. You know, women want to be looked at like, oh, okay, if he could sleep with 5, 10 girls, I could sleep with 5, 10 niggas.
And mind you,
I don't know why.
That's why I always say,
I don't know why you want to be poked up so much.
These slick white people, they take words, remix them, hijack the word, and spit it back out. For example, feminist was for advocating for equal rights of the sexes, right? Now that shit has been warped to hijacked it by the women's sexual liberation movement. It's been hijacked. Feminists never meant anything sexual. Now it's all about slut walks and you can do this, that, and the third. Now they combined it too.
Yes.
They took the word feminist and made a new thing and spit it back out to y'all. And they're also the reason why a lot of these trans people are the word woman is being hijacked. You know what I'm saying? The word woman is hijacked now, and they split the word woman back out to you by saying it's an identity, not who you actually are. And it's also, they'll call you, a biological woman, cis woman.
Yeah.
So hold up. How can you call a natural born female who's gonna grow up to be a woman, a cis woman, but you're the actual woman that's born a man? Do you see where we're going with? And that's all literally the fault of feminists. It's to the point that it's super, 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 super extreme. Remember that old commercial? Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. And all the girls are beating the guys in sports and all kinds of shit like that.
Of course.
These women really out here.
But now we have guys that are entering sports
and busting a woman's ass.
Out of I could curse on you.
You can curse.
Oh, okay, yeah, beating the shit out of women.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm looking. I'm like,
so it's like, how equal do you want it to be?
They say, oh yeah, you better call. That's a man. You call that. You can call her a man. That's who she identify as. That's a man. So I said, fine. No, I mean that's a woman. That's a woman. You better call that man a woman. Fine. Now that man get an ID and it says woman on it. Now that woman get to go in your spaces and took the rights from you, which you worked so hard to get. Now it's all for naught because a grown man that took over that position, now he's Macho Man Randy Savage holding the weightlifting competition. Yeah. And I'm like, you can't say shit now because feminists would now, the hate group part is, they're so tuned in to go against men and to hate men. They're saying masculinity is toxic. Doing all these type of things now becomes a hate organization. Of course. Hate group, I should say. It becomes a hate group because now it's men ain't shit, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, that's not feminist. That's some other movement, but it's not feminist. But now it warped into that. So now they just bashing men. How can you tell a man, I think me saying, you're a woman and you're too feminine for me, and I get mad at you from your natural essence. Now they try to demonize the man, natural masculine energy about him and deem it toxic, and they want the man to be like them. And then